Nice big inhale. Nice long exhale. Nice and gently back up. Soften your knees. Few hip circles. Opposite direction. Good, and let's have some bodies. So have a seat on the mat and you're gonna lay down onto your left side. Left side, please. Perfect. Both legs are straight out. Anchor that bottom leg, secure your core. Maybe your right hand is sitting on the floor in front of your chest. That right leg up and down, up and down. So use the outer part of the leg to lift and the inner part to lower. So use the muscles. And every time that leg comes up, it's that outer thigh that works all the way. See if you can bring it up just half an inch higher. And then when you come down, allow your heels just to touch gently. So you are coming all the way down, but you're not releasing that leg. Up nice and high, and down. Up nice and high, and down. That right ankle is soft and relaxed. Use your leg, use your hips. Good, take a break. Just kind of move the hips around a little bit. Just a little bit of movement in the back for a moment. And then that right leg, so your left leg is still anchored on the ground. That right leg, tap it in front of the left foot. Take it up in a half circle and tap it behind. Take it up, tap it in front, take it up and behind. It doesn't have to come up necessarily that high. So you'll find how high, but you do want to try to just get that nice little half circle. Good, and then take that right leg straight out in front of you so the sole of the foot is pointed towards the wall. Yeah, let it hang out on the ground. And then take your right hand, bend the elbow, and place your hand on the center of your chest. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to roll that right shoulder blade back onto the floor or wherever it wants to go, and then come back to laying on your side. And then roll backwards and come back to center. Roll back, come forward, wherever kind of it feels good for you. If you can keep your head flat on the ground, that is ideal. You just want to get a nice little movement in that middle part of your back. So when you go to roll back, think of that bottom of that shoulder blade wanting to go down to the floor. And then next time you roll back, stay there and breathe. Anchor your right foot on the floor a little bit. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, see if you can roll back just a little bit more. Keep it soft. Good, and come back to center. The right leg comes on top of your left. And then keep your legs stacked. Place your right hand on the floor in front of your chest. And then take a nice inhale. And then as you exhale, you're just going to take your hip bones, mainly your right hip, and you're going to try to tap your right hip onto the floor, and then come back to laying on your side. So you're trying to get both of your hip bones to touch the floor, and then roll back. So it's just a forward and backward motion. Now the trick is try not to allow your upper body to move. See if you can hold your upper body there. I know, but you're like, oh, this is really super easy. Try to hold your upper body there, but you're just going to move from that hip. So that right hip just comes forward, and then take it back, and that right hip comes forward, and take it back. So just your lower body is getting this forward, backward motion. It's going to look and feel different for everybody. So try to stay neutral here. Yeah. So your goal is to hold your body here. That's the exercise. This is your bonus.
It's impossible.
Yeah, right? It's not really cooperating with you right now, is it? No. Back is not very good. Sometimes it's in the beginning of it too, right? So when you come into an exercise, just because I say it's that right hip moving, before you even get to that spot, you have to think, okay, well, how do I anchor my body? How do I secure and lock in my core? Because she just wants me to move that right hip forward and back. So I need to really secure my upper body by locking in my core. So that lower abdominal is pulled in strong, those lower ribs are in strong, your mid-back is engaged, and that hip is just moving.
Not very much, but moving.
Sometimes it's hard to get the connection, right? The brain and the body talking. That sometimes is the hard part. But you can feel your upper body secure, like you're working and keeping that core engaged to allow that to happen. Yeah, good job. It's a hard movement. Kind of an interesting one, isn't it? Good. Keep your hips stacked. Now take that right hand on the floor in front of you. Yeah, and then with that right shoulder blade, you're just going to reach and squeeze that shoulder blade back, and then you're going to release it, hand taps the floor. Come up and squeeze that lower shoulder blade. So we're trying trying to lift that arm up with that lower shoulder blade. So it's top down and squeeze here. And this is where you're moving that arm down and pulling back from here. And then push it down from here. So before you initiate even moving that arm, that right shoulder drops and you keep space between the shoulder and your ear. Lots of space. So now you bring it up. Ah, yes, that's nice. Lots of space.
By working the shoulder blades, I think it sure reduces your risk of frozen shoulder,
Oh, yes.
you know?
Frozen shoulder is so common
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times preventable, but it just gets stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We just get stuck. So many times I'm like, we just get stuck. Good, hold that arm up, and now take that arm above your head so the thumb taps the floor above your head, and then the pinky touches your hip, and then it comes up and it taps the floor, and it comes down. Again, think about the muscles that you're working, the muscles underneath that arm, right? And again, so when you're here, you see how you're kind of like, you can't help it. So right now, stay right there. When you came down, you went this. So this arm's bent and you're kind of locked in this weird thing. Don't do that. Stop. Stop. Because it's not your arm doing the work. Right? It's these muscles pushing it up, and these muscles are pulling it down. And that's going to keep that arm straight. These muscles. Oh, you were just gimped up there before. You had this weird look. Yeah. And part of that frozen shoulder and tension in the body, remember that your limbs aren't doing the work. Like your arm's not doing the work. Your spine and your shoulder blade, your core is doing the work. Your limbs never do the work. But until we know that, we make it all over that arm. You would be surprised, and maybe some of you were there when you first started, but there's a lot of people that absolutely their hands are not going to touch the floor. They're going to cut to here, and that's as far as they can go. So just even having that type of range of motion is amazing. Good, now hold that arm up. So much fun. Now you're going to start, keep it up. Now you're going to start using that right shoulder blade and the muscles under your armpit to make these little circles. But you're going to just make small little circles until you can feel all those funky little muscles moving around and doing your job. And then you can reverse that, all those little tiny muscles in through here doing your job. And then as you start to feel all those muscles, you relax your arm a bit because it's not your arm. And you start making bigger circles. And see what range you can get. But again, it's these little guys down here. Right? Shoulder blades, not the arm.
I can feel that right down to the bottom of my shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting though, right?
Mm-hmm.
And remember, we like time under tension. So the slower you go, the more you can keep that tension on those muscles, the bigger benefits you're going to This is why Netflix was created. Okay, rest that arm. When you're ready, roll over onto your stomach. Take your arms out to the side, palms are laying flat. Good. Anchor your legs into the floor. So the tops of the feet push them down, the quadriceps, and now especially those hip flexors. So your hip bones, push them into the ground. So there's a little bit of a pelvic tilt, but it's very slight. Legs are strong. Super strong legs.
And so we're going to use our hands.
Oh, out to the sides. Yeah. And then, right to start, you can keep both the hands on the ground. So keep your legs engaged, hands on the ground, and then you're going to come into a little back bend. So you're just going to lift up, and then you're going to lower down. Keep your chin a little bit straight or slightly tucked in so the back of your neck stays long. Lift up and down. Lift up from the brow line, not from the head. So at no point does your head move around. You lift up only from here. This is where you're trying to, yes. And you lower down slow, exactly. So you're going to lift up from here. Keep your chin tucked in. At no point are you going to move your head. Only up and down from the mid-back. Yes. No moving of the head at all. Keep your neck neutral. Lovely. This one can be done with your hands coming up, but I don't like that because I find that you end up using more shoulders. This is focusing directly on back. And there's nothing wrong with using your arm strength a little bit to get a bit more height, as long as you're lifting up through that mid-back area. Good, and next time you're up, stay up. Take an inhale and come up a little bit higher from the mid-back. Hold it. Take one more inhale, come up a little bit higher and hold it. Legs are strong. One more inhale, come up a little bit more. Tuck your chin a little bit more and hold it. Take a big inhale and lower down on a slow exhale. Super lovely. Can you just shimmy your hips around a little bit? Okay, now this is one more of those weird little hip things. So, you're probably going to stack your hands and place your forehead on your hands. Yeah, now you're going to again keep that upper body still. Nothing's happening with the upper body. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take your hips and you're going to just lift one hip up and then put it back down and up and down and up. Yeah, exactly. You're not pushing with your legs, you're not pushing with your feet. The idea is to use that lower mid-back to rotate your hips towards one wall and then rotate your hips to the other wall with your upper body staying as still as it can. So you want that movement from lower to mid-back only. Right, so it's just, yes. It might move a lot, it might move a little. We're going to call this one hip lifts.
And I would say this is probably a good one to practice because it is quite hard to get a connection with all those little tiny muscles. But I think it's a very important movement. Make sure you're not using your legs to do the movement. So your legs, your feet are not helping you at all. You're relying on your core to lift that right hip up and your back to lower it down. Your core and your back lifts that hip up. So it's just like if we're standing up and we're turning the hips from side to side. Good. Hang out at center for a moment. Take a nice big breath into your back. All right, let's turn over onto our right side and we're going to do Pilates. Pilates on that side. So again, legs are straight out. You're going to anchor your bottom leg. Your left hand is probably on the floor in front of your chest. And then you use the outer thigh to lift your leg up, inner thigh to pull it down. When that left leg goes to lift up, first you secure that right leg on the ground, and that gives you resistance, up and down. So even when that leg is moving up and down, that right leg is still working. It's pushing into the ground. See if you can get those heels to gently touch on the way down. Right, that way you know that your body's in alignment. Yeah. Good. And then just rest for a second. Just move your hips again side to side. Make sure everything is released and your lower back is ready to move. And then take that top leg and bring it out in front of you. Sorry, you're going to do the half circles. So your left leg is going to tap in front of your right. It's going to come up half circle, tap behind. Make a nice little half circle. So lift that leg up and down, and up and forward, and up and back. Doesn't have to go high. Couple inches is good.
Yeah, this isn't something you do every day.
No. No. leg behind. Kind of as far back behind as you can. And then a little bit of a tuck, and just see if you can get a nice little stretch down the left hip somewhere. And this one is important to try to keep those hips forward. And just breathe, just take a nice big inhale and a long exhale. Good, and then take that top leg and bring it out in front so it's facing, the sole is facing that front wall. Yeah. Just hang out there for a second. And then take your left hand onto your chest, take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, roll back, trying to get that left shoulder blade to touch the floor. And then come back, and then roll back again. Anchor that left leg, because when you go back, it's going to want to try to follow. See if you can secure it. And then next time, stay back. Both legs are anchored. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, allow that left shoulder blade just to melt down towards the floor more. And then come back to on your side. Both legs are stacked. And again, take your hips and try to touch that left hip bone to the floor. And then take it back. So swivel the lower body forwards and backwards. Try to keep that upper body as still as you can. Perfect. So you've got the hip forward, see if you can bring it back.
I thought we were supposed to bring it back to the center, but we.
You're good, so you can start working on that one.
Okay.
You're good, baby. So now you can work on the forward, and then it's back as far as you can go.
Okay.
Because when you start to come back, you're gonna start to open up the front of the hip really nicely.
Okay, this is side visit.
Yeah, so this is a good one. You definitely got the forward. Perfect. So now we want to come back. Come back is always a fun feeling. Nice job.
Easy on this side.
Yeah, you're even going back really nicely. When it's funny how one side can be like, nothing.
Yeah.
And the other side is like, it's not happening. Yes. That's why it's good to do these little creative ones, right? Gives you a big awareness of your limitations.
And it's just, I mean, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of moving our body in certain ways, right? One, maybe we're all right side dominant. We never really learned how to work our body and to, really take care of it. So we learned how to make it work for us, right? And it might be as simple as when you step, you might apply more weight onto your right foot than you do your left. So over time, that creates imbalances. And I think that's a bit of where the power of the yoga came in, too, because yoga could be anything, but it teaches you to move your body in specific ways. Yeah, I like this little sequence of the upper or the lower body. This one's good. Keep your hips stacked and then take that left arm up to the sky. Yeah, and then palm facing forward. And then you're going to use that shoulder blade as you exhale to tap that hand down to the floor and take it back up. And then when you initiate the move of that left arm coming down, think about taking that left shoulder blade and almost lifting that, pulling that hand up to the sky and then forward. So maybe when that hand touches the ground, you're kind of reaching forward so you get a bit of a stretch from that shoulder blade.
So it's like a lobster.
Yes, it's like a one-armed lobster. That arm does not need to go past the shoulder. Going back is always too much torque on the rotator cuff. Never necessary. So if it comes back, make sure it's coming back. Make sure it's the left shoulder blade that's coming back, and it's not just coming from here. You know what I mean? Yeah, perfect, because you're moving your shoulder blade. So your arm can come back, it's not putting any stress on your rotator cuff, because it's your whole shoulder blade that's coming back. So just like that hand taps in front, because your shoulder blade moves forward, if that shoulder blade could come down towards the ground, one day maybe that hand would touch the floor behind you. But you would allow that shoulder blade a little bit less here, and more the shoulder blade coming down without moving with everything else. Just make sure you do not put stress on that rotator cuff, the front of the shoulder. If your shoulder blade wants to move back, well done. Take that arm up to the sky, take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, it's going to come to the floor above your head, that thumb touch. And then that pinky touches your hips. Thumb touches the floor, arm stays straight. And remember, you're moving from the muscles underneath, so it's a back exercise. The muscles in your back.
to the sky and start with some nice little circles. Can you feel the muscles underneath that armpit? That's what's moving that arm around. Yeah, kind of anywhere as long as it's not so much in the hand. So make sure you keep that wrist relaxed. Because remember, it literally is these guys here. So all of these guys are moving around so that arm can move. So in a perfect world, you feel a lot of this stuff. That's what you want. And then you play with that range of motion. So when you come here, you go, oh, I'm not on it anymore, and then you back off. What happens if you could just make them work a little bit more? So wherever you get stuck, wherever your weakness is, that's where you focus on. So we know when that arm comes in front, we like it because this is super easy. And then when it starts to come back, these guys have to work harder. And that's what we want. We want to find that spot where there's the most tension, and we have to make them work hard. And I can feel these guys working. Good job. We only get better by working on our weaknesses, never our strengths. Increase our range of motion if it's comfortable. Just like that last exercise, in the perfect world, that arm would come up and come up and come up, and then it would come back and back and back, and we just don't have that flexibility. But the shoulder technically would be designed so that arm could come back further. Reverse the direction if you haven't already. And remember, when that arm comes back down, that whole shoulder blade pulls down every time. That whole shoulder blade pulls down. So where is your range of motion here? Lovely, relax that arm. Take a nice big breath. Okay, and then when you're ready, come laying onto your stomach again. You might want to stack your hands, place your forehead on your hands or the forehead on that. And then you're going to alternate. The left leg comes up as your right leg secures and anchors. And then the right leg comes up, left leg anchors. So one leg up, other leg up, other leg up. One leg is always secured on the mat, yes.
The hip can kind of come up with the leg, or does the hip stay down?
Hip's gonna come up if you can. But there is no shifting hip side to side. You wanna make sure it's a straight up and down. It's just a straight up and down. Legs not gonna bend. There's a lot of weird noises going on today. Right? Like, I don't know what that was.
So you feel that in the small of your back?
Yeah,
I would come up maybe not that high.
Oh, okay.
So whenever you feel it in the small of your back when you're doing back stuff, it's more of a compression, which normally means maybe your lower back is tired.
Okay.
And after all the stuff that we did, it could be. So on this one, you don't want it to feel in the lower back.
I feel it.
Glutes would be good, yeah. Maybe middle part of the back, you never really want to feel lower back. Good, and then both feet on the ground, shimmy your hips a little bit from side to side. All right, so one more little leg one, so this is kind of a fun one. Secure your right leg. And then you're just gonna lift your left leg up like an inch, and then you're just gonna tap it to the left side. And then bring it back to center. Tap your leg to the left. Yeah, that's your left. And then bring it
Right back. Okay.
Bring it, yeah. So it doesn't have to go too far. So slow it down, and then this is when you ask yourself the question, what is working right now? And is it what's supposed to be working? And how does it feel? Oh, this feels good. Remember too, it's not the leg that's moving. It's your back that's moving your leg. So if you can feel it in your hips, your glutes, your middle back, that's amazing. That's what we're going for. It's not a leg out to the side or backhand.
I feel it in the front of my head.
The front of it? Yeah, probably just tight, right?
Especially this side.
Yeah. Brenda, when it comes to this time of year and you're running lots and fishing lots, do you find the hips get irritated more and more sort of thing?
This time, the more, I'm starting to get more into longer running because of it. I'm getting closer to, so that's when.
Are you on that Fit-On app at all?
No.
Okay. If you go on that Fit-On, I can send you the link to it. There's some really good, because your knees are pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some really good stretching videos on there that might help you as well.
Okay.
So the videos that we're doing on Barb's site, they're awesome and they're basically what we do here. But if you guys, my second referral recommendation is to download the Fit-On app. It's free. And that gives you thousands, you're talking like 3,000 videos. Workout, Pilates, yoga, HIIT, you name it, meditation, breath work. If you get pregnant, there's prenatal, there's everything.
What's it called?
Fit-On, F-I-T-O-N. Halle Berry, actually, during the pandemic, created it, because everything closed down. So she created this really super amazing free app. And all the international instructors in the world, because they weren't doing anything anymore, she used all of their videos, they all made videos, and they created this app. And I use it all the time, and thousands. You can go 10 minutes, you can go 35 minutes. So that's always another nice one to work on.
And the thing too is a good warm-up before the run, which lots of people are always in a rush.
And they're always in a rush.
Always in a rush, so I have to be sure.
Yeah. There's no sense in being in a rush if it compromises our health, right? Because the long-term effects of that is not good, right? We do this so we can run. We do this so we can swim and play pickleball and stillfish and chop wood and anything else that we want to do. Right? So this, at this point in life, is about taking care of our body.
Did you also say switch sides?
Yes, I did. Of course I did. And even if I didn't, I did. You know me. You better off just to switch sides. And also your stretching and your flexibility, there's a couple simple things. So even if you're not the person to do anything at home, every day or 3 or 4 times a week, you need to lay down on the floor and put your legs up the wall. If there's nothing else you can do or are motivated to do, that legs up the wall, to me, it's just as important as brushing your teeth. Yeah, like it's right there.
How long for?
Like, you know what, put on a podcast or talk on the phone or, maybe like 10 minutes, that would be lovely. It reverses the flow, so it makes your legs feel better, because we ask our feet and our legs a lot, right? So it reverses the flow. It also sends a lot of flow down in through the abdominal area, which is a very nurturing thing for the digestive system. It's good for cleansing and detoxing. It's good for flushing out your lymphatic system.
I used to do a lot when I was on holiday, put the feet up.
Yeah.
Back in bed or.
I did it as a kid, didn't know it was any good. I put my bedroom and then
With the feet up the wall, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because when we were a kid, we can do that, but now it's hard for us to get our feet up the wall. So, yeah, that's one thing that we all should be doing 3-4 times a week minimum, legs up the wall, 10 minutes.
Sounds like my perfect kind of.
Stretch,
Mhm.
it's lovely. Right, and when you have your feet up against the wall, your legs up the wall, you want them obviously, you want your hips, your butt to be as close to the wall as you can get, right? Sometimes that's hard. So sometimes if you're really inflexible and you go close to the wall, your knees end up bending because you don't have the flexibility, right? So if I say, oh, do the legs up the wall, and you want to try to get your butt as close to the wall as you can, and then you get your legs up. This is perfect. And then you talk on the phone, you hang out, listen to podcasts, whatever. If you get here and you're like, then what you do is you take your hips away from the wall, but still try to go straight. So everything has the opportunity of flowing, right? Still flushing out the lymphatic system, right? It takes all the dead shit out of your feet. So it's energizing for your feet, right? Move your toes around, get some movement in those toes, right?
And that's why we do it on holidays, because we're walking so much all the time that it's nice, even if your feet get swollen a bit, it's nice.
Yes.
Oh, my feet swell all the time.
Yeah,
Well, especially traveling in an airplane,
Yeah,
or if I'm in the heat.
yes.
Always. So I wear compression socks now when I fly.
Then you should be doing legs up the wall all the time.
I do the legs up the wall in water,
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I do it really a lot of times on hot days, because everything swells
Yes,
up and it's
it
heat,
does.
right? And when you think about it, when you're up all day, that blood is flowing down and down and down. Right, there's no reprieve, so you go up the wall, everything reverses, so everything's getting flush. Right, and you give your feet a bit of a break. Playing with your toes more, running your fingers in between your toes, because as soon as your toes go like this and get stuck all the time, it's gonna throw everything off, your ankles, your knees, your hips. You know, if you went in for a manicure, they put those things in between your toes? Yeah, if you go into Shoppers and stuff, you can buy them, and then you put them on in between your toes when you're at home, and you leave them on for half an hour. Or you put them on while you're doing your legs up the wall. Because that little stretch feels just divine. And you pull that off and your feet are like, oh, I can breathe. Right?
Your feet are supposed to have as much flexibility as your hands do, right? But think about, because we're stuck in shoes all day, these toes are like, right? And we wonder why our feet are irritated, right? So you need to play with your toes every day, right? Keep them healthy. Okay, laying back, she lost my place.